Hey there UFS players, it's Joe. I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys actually about the fact that everyone seems to be playing a lot of the same characters these days, and I kind of wanted to highlight some characters that I think, before the release of Blood Omen, because obviously that's going to change everything up a lot, but I still think a lot of characters are getting ignored right now, so I wanted to give you a list of 10 underrated characters that I think should be played more than they currently are. Now these characters are in no particular order, and a couple of these I've actually proven their worth in the past, both in the UK and in the US. So before you guys sit there and just go, oh god, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, seriously check some of these guys out, because I think that they are perfectly viable of taking a tournament, and they just haven't been played enough and been used to their full potential yet. The first character that I want to talk to you guys about is Airman. Now Airman, on paper, doesn't look all that solid, but the thing to remember with him is that he's actually a pretty solid meta-call right now, because there's so many things that, you know, push the attack that you're like being threatened by, whether it be a Scorch Wheel or something that a Felicia that threw out, or there's so many, everything's very aggro heavy right now, and Airman actually slows things down a heck of a lot. And if you combine him with either breaker blocks off of Void, like Team K-Dash, or you have access to Templar of 2 different symbols off of Air and Life, Life has some amazing kill conditions that don't need their character, like Tengu Dive, Scorch Wheel, you know, there's just so many, Kunoichi no Mai, I could list loads. The thing with him is that he has a consistent effect, and the thing to remember with his response is that it negates the whole effect as long as it boosts the speed in some manner or another. Felicia is a good example of this. She boosts speed and her check for the next card that she plays. This will negate both of them. If you're looking at cards that boost speed and damage, he negates the damage as well as the speed. So that effect is actually a lot stronger than you might believe. I've seen a couple of people use him as a sideboard character, but I think right now he should be getting a lot more attention than he does. The second character that I want to talk about is a character that I've played quite frequently, and I almost didn't put on this list because I didn't want to look like I was biased, but I think this character is one of the hardest characters in the game to kill right now, and it's Anacharis. Now Anacharis, again, I mean, I remember when he came out, everyone said, oh, he's D tier, he's one of the worst characters in the game, and then I remember bringing him up to Vegas in January and playing a few people, and, you know, without tooting my own horn or anything like that, I barely dropped a game. And I've proven him here as well, where I've played loads of people who've sat there and gone, oh my god, this character's trash, and I've beaten them, and it's not necessarily due to me. The character is really good. He's just overlooked. He has so much synergy with so many good cards like Siberian Scientist, Fatherly Love, Templar. You know, having a character that constantly readies after your opponent tries to do anything is actually a really strong effect in and of itself, because it means your checks go up. And the fact that it works on them doing stuff to you as well means that he's just very, very versatile. He has so many different things that he can do, and he's just a character that's so worth looking at, and people just don't understand why he's good. Try him out. I'll post up a deck list at some point, and I honestly think that you guys should just play him. The next character that I've mentioned completely confounds me as to why he's not seeing play, because he was so well supported in Battle for Power, and he's so solid, is Ashe. And again, I mean, this isn't the Ashe that I used to play, because Ashe is one of my favourite characters in King of Fighters, but he's just got so many things going for him. He'll never have a hand where he doesn't have an attack in his hand. It's practically impossible for him to do that. So he is always a threat. And because of the way that he works with Gyromancer cards, which he gets off of 2 of his symbols, not just 1, he just gets so much draw power and advantage out of that first card that he played. Gyro Attack is amazing with him. Gyro Blade is amazing with him. And let's not forget that he has a consistent damage bonus on his character card. He doesn't actually need outside support that much in order for him to go off. You can play him off of Air and use him as a Never Hopeful spamming deck, or you can use him off of Evil, and you can just go nuts with all of the Gutsman support, all of the Gyroman support, Powerful Assassin, Ophidiophobia. You just have so many defensive maneuvers off of both of those symbols, and now he has kill conditions. I don't understand why people aren't playing this character. Now the next character that I wanted to talk about is a character that I don't think deserved the limelight up until this point really, because he just didn't really have a lot going for him, but Battle for Power actually added a lot for him, and that's Cutman. Cutman is a bit of an oddball, but he's actually a very, very versatile character. with abilities to spam Ever Hopeful like there's no tomorrow, because he actually regenerates a foundation every time he does it, because you're spending momentum during your opponent's turn. Not only that, but he has amazing synergy with Capsule Zap, one of Dr. Wily's attacks from Battle for Power, where he can either load in a Dr. Wily's challenge and get +4 damage out of it, because he'll get +2 from his own effect and he'll get +2 from it blowing itself up. And you have Improvised Weapons, which is a 0 difficulty foundation, which, shortening everything, with him equates to destroy this foundation for +4 damage and +3 to my next block check. If you start factoring in reversals into that, and start factoring in the fact that that ability can be used both offensively and defensively, and he can regenerate his foundations, he's actually got quite a massive momentum swing, and I use momentum in the literal term. So he's definitely a character that people should be looking at more than they are. Now, this next character is a character that I actually can't stand fighting against. My brother actually built this deck, and he's unbelievably difficult to kill. And it's Dr. Cossack. Now, this guy's been written off as like, oh, he's the worst 5-hand character, he's this, that, and the other. When the first Mega Man set was released, he was just considered terrible. And you know what? He's really, really not. Even after rotation, he loses some of his synergies like a hero's training and things like that. He still has access to Artifice Avarice, so he can draw cards. He also has the ability to be able to do that on a Sagaki offering so that he draws 2. Things like, it's just little things with him that just make him so difficult to kill. And the ability to stack anything on top of your deck and then use something like key techniques to draw the card back up again, he has tutor effects. How can that be considered bad? He has a lot of health, and he has free damage on his attacks provided you check foundations for them, which 90% of the time is going to happen with him. He's definitely a character that we should be seeing more play, and just isn't for some reason. And I've played against this character numerous times, and he's, believe me, extremely frustrating to play against. And this is coming from someone who plays Anakaris. Duo is a character that I think isn't completely underrated. I think people know he's good, I just don't think anyone's quite found the deck build for him perfectly yet. However, the thing that I notice with him is he has incredible synergy with Slaughterhouse, which is a card from the Undine set. My god, the things that he can do. I mean, off of Void, I've been trying to sort of build up some idea where you use the mid-attack boosters in Solar Powered and Dragon Goddess, and then you change the attack high and suddenly it's being boosted with Slaughterhouse, and that works on Slaughterhouse itself. Now, there's just so much damage potential within that. I think the only thing that might be missing is a bit of draw power, and hopefully he'll be getting that in Blood Omen. But I still think that even before Blood Omen is released, he's definitely a character that should be considered, because he's actually just, the damage potential he has is unreal. And completely forgoing that, let's not forget the guy has no reason to run low blocks. He doesn't actually need to run any if he doesn't want to. Obviously you would run a few so you don't have to use his effect to make it so that it isn't low anymore, but he actually doesn't have to run low blocks, so it's actually not even a factor for him if you don't need it to be there at all. Now, this next character is somebody that I have no idea why she's not even winning tournaments like regularly, because she's extremely good, and people sat there and said that Jiffany Jambers was ridiculous for the same reason that she is, and it's because she's 8-hand, and that's Leona. Leona not only is 8-hand, yeah, alright, she's 7.5 hand, we'll call it, and she has slightly less health, which is not great in the current meta when everyone's trying to kill you turn 1 and rip your face off. However, she has access to one of the best attacks in the game, as long as you're her, and that's Leona Blade. Having access to a response from your card pool that drops itself out and negates a response is just insanely powerful. There's a couple of people I've noticed that play her, but no one seems to be running her in tournaments anymore, and I don't understand why. She has so much versatility by being an 8-hand character. You can even take in a couple of Balance Fighter off symbol so that she stays 8-hand at the end of her turn, which makes her so that, you know, your deck size is smaller as well. And there's so many things that she can do, and she has abilities as well, which they're not the best abilities in the world, but they can steal a game or two on the odd occasion just by having free speed and damage. Do not understand why this character is not being played. Please somebody go out and build her and win a tournament with her so that I can be right. This next character is actually the one that caused me to make this video, because I think that she's a character that people have just completely written off. Like, since the day she came out, people just decided, nah, she's crap, I don't want anything to do with her. And honestly, I think you're missing out, because she's a character that completely goes against everything the current meta is right now. It's actually Morrigan. Now, people are probably sitting there just going, what? Why would you play Morrigan? Morrigan's terrible. She's really, really not. She's compared unfavourably to Vincent Grey. Now, there's two things about this that I don't like. One, Vincent Grey is about to rotate. Two, she has different symbols to Vincent, and one of those symbols actually matters, and it's life. Life Morrigan has defences like crazy, like really, really good. Because of her response to minus a check by 2, and plus her next check by 2, meaning that even if they do pass the attack that they're going to play, you're more likely to block it, means that she just cannot be turn 1 or 2 killed. It's very, very difficult to turn 1 or 2 kill her. Then she also has access to Tornado Hold now, which means she can do it twice. As long as if you do it to their first attack and they insist on passing it, or even if they fail it and play another one, and then you block that attack and reverse it with a Tornado Hold, you then ready Morrigan and Surveyor or something just so that you can continue the damage. She's just very, very powerful. And then she has kill conditions in Tengu Dive, she has kill conditions in Kunoichi no Mai, she has kill conditions in all sorts of things. Being able to just get the most out of Tornado Hold, which again is an underrated card in my opinion. It's basically just used as a way to combo into Tengu Dive, but there's so much more to it than that, and this character is definitely somebody who should be doing that. This next character is a character that I've actually only just discovered this with, but I think he's actually somebody that people are overlooking really badly, including me, and it's Reese 2. Now, Reese looks not that fantastic, honestly, until you realise that he actually has more support than you'd think. Now, Slashman came out in Battle for Power and has 3 attacks that are really, really good with him. Well, 2 that are really good with him, 1 that's just okay with him, by way of having the punch it and the weapon keyword. Now, that means that he can buff both of them quite efficiently with his own effect, and his own effect is like giving +1/+1 for every attack in your card pool can get very scary very, very quickly, especially when you consider that Air and Good both have foundations that ready themselves. Under Good, you'd be using Partners in Crime Fighting, and under Air, you'd be using Bridging the Races. I think that the Air build is more proficient because you have access to Ever Hopeful and Templar and things like that as well. But a simple deck where you run Stinging Upper, Raging Slash, Claw, which fuels your Ever Hopeful spamming, by the way. It has multiple if you need it. And then you can also run Wild Temperament, which is +1/+1 for free on any attack that doesn't have any abilities on it. And then you just kind of slap a couple of Sagaki offerings in there, and there's a deck built. This character is genuinely very powerful, and he might be a little one-sided or a bit of a one-trick pony, but that trick is powerful if in the right hands. Okay, I think I saved the best for last here, because this character, I'm completely befuddled as to why I haven't seen him in tournaments more. Shen. Just Shen. How is this character not being played more? He's so good. And the main reason I think he's underrated now is because everyone kind of been scrambling around looking for all of these ways to break Tengu Dive. Now, have you read this character? Tengu Dive with this character is bug nuts insane. I'm going to play whatever ranged attack or an earring bomb if I'm feeling brave, and then I'm going to Tengu Dive you, draw 3 cards. If it hits you, it goes into my momentum. If you block it, it goes back in my hand, and I can either play it again and draw another 3 cards off of it, or not play it and just play the 3 cards that I've just drawn out of you. Someone tell me how this isn't amazing in some way or another, because I can't see how people aren't running it. Life is just an extremely powerful symbol right now, even after Summer Heat's been banned. I mean, let's not forget that, there are 12 symbols in the game, and Summer Heat was meta warping, which is why I think we ended up banning it in the end. But Shen can draw cards like there's no tomorrow. He has access to his own draw card in Tensha Baka Shingeki, and now Tengu Dive as well. It's like the guy's a draw machine, and as we all know as guys who play these games, card advantage wins games. So please look at this character more. He's so good. In fact, all of these characters are really, really good. So I hope this gives you guys a little bit more of a vision as to the sort of characters that I like building in UFS, and also ones that I think should be seeing more play that don't. If you decide to build any of these characters, then give me a link to your UFS Ultra page or anything like that so that I can check out a deck list, because I love seeing what comes out of the woodwork, and with Blood Airman just around the corner, hopefully some of these characters and a bunch of others will just get blown wide open, which is one of the nice things about UFS, is that when a single set comes out, like, everything changes. So I look forward to hearing from you guys and kind of just seeing more of you, really. But yeah, as I said, let me know in the comments below if you think that the stuff that I've said is completely off base, or if you think that there's a character that I may have missed. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and with that I think I shall leave you to it. So thanks for watching everybody, and I'll speak to you guys later. Bye now.